So we are here to do a scores update for the NCAA women's basketball for Saturday, January 11th and Sunday, January 12th. So we have Duquesne beat George Washington 97-55, 72-64 Green beat Seton Hall, Mount St. Mary's beat Cigarette 75-51, 64-52 Gardner Webb High Point, Dean 679-61 Russell, 69-51 UTSA Wichita State, NJT 74-50, 72-54 UMass Seoul, Troy 80-72 over Georgia State, 79-68 North Dakota State over Navy remains the top team in the Peach League at 4-0. They're not only undefeated in the Peach League with a 63-59 win over winless in conference Royal Marion. Fairleigh Dickinson beats newcomer Mercier 70 to the NEC in Division 1, 77-63, 71-66 Toledo over Central Michigan. Toledo is one of the top teams in the MAC conference. And they're consistently near the top in the MAC late as of late, and they proved it. But with Miami, Ohio 78-63, Akron 6-61-53, Eastern Michigan are the bottom tier teams, and Akron, Columbia dominates one of the bottom tier teams in the Ivy. 69-44. Detroit Mercy defeats Oakland 67-59. Detroit Mercy is one of the top, near the top, not quite at the top though. But then we have Northeastern Kentucky 94-50 North Alabama, 72-62 Western Kentucky over Kansas State, 61-54 FIU over Sam Houston, 87-60 Michigan State Purdue, or Michigan or Purdue, number 25 Michigan or Purdue, Radford 64-56 over SCF State, Presbyterian 60-56 over UNC Asheville. Those are bottom tier. Two of the teams are kind of near the bottom of the Big South. But Presbyterian, however, is 2-2. But they played Longwood, Gardner Webb, who's in the middle of the pack. And they played SCF State and Asheville. So they've hung close with a lot of the teams. So they played some conference. Fordham beats the Chicago 68-53, 73-70 Temple beats Tulsa. East Carolina over Tulane 75-64. UAB over FIU or Florida University of Alabama Birmingham or Florida 73-61. 63 St. John's beats the bottom tier Xavier squad. Bottom tier. They are not great in Big East, and they're not so great in the conference either. Cincinnati. They're kind of near the middle of the pack, actually. Kind of in the with the 16-team Big 12, they're almost right near the middle. UCF was at near the bottom. They weren't in like the top of the league last year. UCF wasn't, and this year they're not either. 0-5. Howard beats Morgan State 75-56, 68-62. SEC over Delaware State, South Carolina State, Norfolk State, the top team in the MEAC. They've actually shown that they're actually a good team in the MEAC. No, being some good quality ones. So, they have some good mid-major ones. And Wyoming is better. Washington State, though, that could have been a good win, but they didn't win. They must beat Alabama. They beat Norfolk State by 3, or Missouri by 3. Norfolk State did. And they almost had a good win over Green Bay. Which Green Bay is a good win for, to knock off a major win for them. But they're still on tops in the Pro 82-66. Albany showing why they're one of the top teams in the. They are the top team in the American East record-wise, with 14-3 overall, and they're the best in the conference play. They're the best in conference play, as well at top set Florida, with NGT beginning. Vermont had some struggles in non-conference, but they've shown, and they showed up and showed against Wright. 74-43, Binghamton over New Hampshire 67-44. Evan Christian, proven what, you know, and maybe they're still a top team despite the loss to Utah Valley. 83-55. Old Dominion over Marshall 80-75. James Madison shows why they're a top Sunbelt contender. 85 with the win over Georgia Southern. 85-60. They're undefeated in the Sunbelt. South Dakota showing they're near tops of the Sun League. 80-71-66 over Omaha. But the bounce back. Been bouncing back after the last Norm Robinson bounce back. North Dakota beat Denver 60-61. Inherent War over Houston Christian 76-45, 56-53. Mercer Samford. UNC Greensboro 70-62-40 over Chandler. Jackson State has been kind of struggling in non-conference this year. Usually they do okay in non-conference, but then come conference, and then maybe they struggle a little bit in conference, or non-conference, but then they have some good wins still in conference. Or non-conference. He still gets a few decent wins in non-conference, and then the conference they just dominate. But they're dominating conference. They're going to 3-0 with a 74-44 win over Alabama State. 66-56 LMA and more Elkhorn. Holy Cross 75-16 over Lafayette. Colgate 61-40 over Boston U. But no, drops American to the winless. Still keeps them winless. American has not won a game all season. In the non-conference, they almost beat Fairleigh Dickinson by 3 at home. They beat UMBC almost they only lost by 5. So they've had some close games. But then in the conference, most of their games have been close, or single digits, except for, and they had Boston U by 3 on kids on education day. And then they had Navy. They almost beat Navy. They had the Navy by 7. So, but still winless. Western 88-67 over Tennessee State. Tennessee Tech 74-58 over SSU. 78-73 over Lindenwood beats UT1. 61-50 Stonehill over Long Island. 82-86 in C Central Maryland Eastern Shore in 2 overtimes. Western Michigan over Northern Lights 61-57. Ryder over Niagara. The Volunteers in Metro Athletic Crowd 79-69 Ryder or 59. 79-59 Ryder beats Niagara. 77-61 Manhattan over Marriott. Quinnipiac and Iona, 2 of the top teams in the Metro Athletic Conference in terms of conference record, but Iona did fall to Fairfield though, and they fell to Quinnipiac, so not necessarily a top, but Fairfield and Quinnipiac meet. That'll be a good matchup. As Fairfield beat Downey Bears 70-31. St. Peter's beat Case 61-55. Brown beat the bottom tier Yale Bulldogs they are 1-14 this year, but they also put up a fight. 77-69, 61-49 Dartmouth over Penn. The top 2 team, one of the top 2 and top 3 in the AE battle out. Harvard is usually in there for second, third in that range. They're usually a good consistent though, like either a WNIT team or like a WBIT team. They will be like WBI, WBIT team, and then they'll be a good or WNIT team. They'll be in that range. Typically, they are. Unless they win their conference tournament. But Princeton just beat them 52-50. Green Bay proved why they're near the top somewhere. Horizon League with a 78-48 win over Robert Morris. They're 6-1 here. Their only loss on the season was in conference play was the 7th of December. Over a month, a little bit over a month ago, over Purdue for a win, which is the only undefeated team in the Horizon League at 8-0. But they did play a couple ranked teams and had some tough losses, especially in the Georgia State Thanksgiving tournament, losing all three. Stetson 80-63 over North Florida, 83-73 Lipscomb over West Georgia and Overton, 92-50 FGC proves why. And they are usually a solid team. They started off slow, but they had 2 wins, one over Big East Georgetown and one over Big 12 Cincinnati. They're not the tops in their conferences, but still, getting a win over a Big East, like a power 4 school, and then you factor in the Big East in basketball, is like a power conference. And then, Big 12, the Big East is still, I guess some people can, but anyways, Cincinnati, FDCU is to beat Cincinnati. They are usually the tops in the conference. They are. And you can see why. Oh, they are the only undefeated in conference play. And then S&P beat Bellarmine 60-58, 60-53 UT over Tucson and Corpus Christi. Nichols over Big East 60-47, 75-64 Liberty over Louisiana Tech. Maryland's had a close loss to USC, but they proved why. That was on Wednesday, and they proved why. Loss was just one off. 83-68 over Wisconsin. 64-60 in emergency over Celtics, Missouri. 78-56 Ball State over Buffalo. Buffalo was undefeated going into conference play, but they lost to Kent State and Ball State. Which Ball State's usually up there. But Kent State, that's kind of surprising. But Kent State's near the upper part of the league as well. Middle Tennessee is top in the Conference USA, and they showed why 60-35 over Jacksonville State, 64-57. Oklahoma upsets number 17 West Virginia, but they are both solid teams, both 13-2 going in that game. So Oklahoma State should get ranked because of that win. And I would not be surprised if they do in the top 25. In West Virginia, they were both 2 solid teams, though. So North Texas, they beat South Florida 72-65. Knock South Florida out. South Florida is in your top in the American usually, but this year UTSA is at the top, 14-2. Colorado over Kansas 84-76, 64-15. Marquette over Villanova is not as good as they were before. When they had Maddie Segrist and all that in that dominant squad with her. Even last season, they made to WBIT the championship game, and I believe it was either Final Four or championship game. I don't remember which. I know it was at least the Final Four, but the semifinals, Final Four in that tournament of 32 teams. But I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think they won it though. I don't remember honestly. But I know they did make it in that pretty far in that tournament. But and then Santa Clara over San Diego 67-15. Gonzaga, Washington State, 2 of the tops in the West Coast Conference battled out. And that was 60-61 win for Gonzaga. Tarleton over Utah Tech 74-65. California Baptist over Utah Valley 77-50. 74-54 UT over Southern Utah. 65-54 Texas over Alabama. Southern Louisiana over Southern Miss 77-60. 75-70 Arkansas State over Louisiana. 78-61 South Dakota State. Shows why they're one of the top mid-majors in the country. And they're only one of the 2 undefeateds in conference. While they're 4-0, North Dakota State's 3-0. Bethune 70-52 over Grambling. 83-53 Southeastern New Orleans. New Orleans is unbeaten, and Southeastern cruise by there. Like I said, another top mid major and top. I think I only 3 losses in the year. One to Nebraska, one to good Quinnipiac mid major, and one to Big 12 Houston. That was close though. It was pretty close. Even though it's a Big 12 team, they still played really solid though against them. And then Utah, number 22 Utah, blows out Houston 62-42. Southern North 77-61. 63-60 up Sierra Coastal Carolina. Penn State beats Ohio 70-64. Northern Kentucky IUND 63. Number 7 UConn over Georgetown 73-55. 68-62 Fresno State Boise State 78-68. Nevada over Utah State 78-58. Iowa State over Arizona 78-71. New Mexico over San Diego State. Central Connecticut beats Wagner 62-55. 73-41 St. Francis P over Limon. 90 and Limon is still winless in there. They're one of 3 winless teams. One of the winless teams in the season. Limon is all with New Orleans and America that we've covered so far. And you also have Cal State Bakersfield. They are still winners. San Jose State or Air Force 98-84. 57-48 Northern Colorado Montana State. Weber State 72-70 67 Overton. Montana State battled Northern Arizona. A good Big Sky showdown. But Montana State is a good team mid-major. They proved it with the win. 77-74. Laura Stevens 65-49. Mexico State Utah 69-52. Mississippi Valley State Purdue. UC Ryan 73-66 for UC San Diego. 73-60 Long Beach State UCS. Bakersfield gets their first win of the season over Cal State Northridge 62-56. Right over Corner 60-56. East Rush over Sacramento State 78-58. Baylor Arizona State. Number 12 Kansas State beats BYU 82-65. I'm surprised Baylor's on it. Baylor has 13. But they did lose to Oregon. They lost to Indiana. And who else did they lose to? Oklahoma State. They might be ranked eventually, but Baylor's kind of in the ranked threshold. Then you have Longwood 77-15 over Linton. Number 11 TCU over Texas Tech 69-43. Texas Tech is not that good of a team. They do good in non-conference, but in conference play, you just get dominated. It's probably time for them to let their coach go. Their coach was a former player at Texas Tech. Was a really good player for their program. But it's just time to let it go. Cal play 51-50 or less ever. Portland had a win, had a couple losses in conference. They ended up losing 2 in conference. 1 to Oregon State, and then 1 to Gonzaga after starting 14-0. They lost 2 in a row. Now they're 16-2. They had that game canceled against Pepperdine. Because they didn't feel safe traveling there, or it wasn't safe to travel to Pepperdine. I know Northwestern did the same against USC and UCLA. They were supposed to play them in Los Angeles. So, and then Cal play 51-50, like I said, San Then St. Mary's beats Pacific 64-44. San Francisco was undefeated in the conference play. San Francisco was in the West Coast, or actually no, they had 2 losses in there. They lost to Oregon State and Portland. They were undefeated going to the Portland game. We're going into Oregon State, excuse me. Then Hawaii beats Fullerton 54-44, and St. Mary's over 64-44. Then we have Saturday, January 12, 2024 games. We have Duke beats Virginia 60-55 over 14 Duke. That was an AC game. And then George Mason were at 70-65. Rock over Justin Overton, 87 83, 67-50. Number 2, South Carolina over Texas. And then 68-60 number 9, Oregon, Oregon. 73-63, number 16, Tennessee over Arkansas. UMass 57-50 over St. Bonaventure. Lehigh over Army, 70-51. 72-59, Pittsburgh over SMU. 51-40, Williamson over Northeastern. 64-60, Western Carolina over UTSA. That was a rescheduled game from Saturday. It was supposed to be played on Saturday, but due to the weather, it was played today. Notre Dame over Clemson, 68-58, number 3, number 19, North Carolina over Boston College, 60, number 3, Michigan State over Washington, BC over St. Joseph's, 57-50, Indiana State over Evansville, New 74. Not sure if that game was due to weather either. But I don't think it was, but no, it was a CBS Sports Center game. Okay, that explains it. It must be, or you must see my mention. I think it was a CBS, I believe it was a CBS Sports Center game as well. No, it was ESPN Plus. No, but there were a few though. And George Mason around was. So, then we have NCAA or India CBMs was 74. Virginia Tech beat Wake Forest 61-54. NCAA or Townsend 61-58. Hofstra beats Drexel 60-53. Campbell 72-42 over Hampton. Nebraska 16-62 Rutgers. Wayne 83-74 Mama. For Wofford and Furman, that was a game that was supposed to be on Saturday, but they moved to Sunday because of the weather. Wofford ends up beating Furman in 68-51. Same as the Little Rock game over Southern Indiana. That game was moved due to the weather. And Little Rock beat Southern Indiana 89-83 over 10. Red State over Youngstown State 77-62. Proof runner over Cleveland State in a good showing with two good rising teams. 78-75. Central Arkansas and Queens. That was a game from Saturday. The A-Center plays on Saturdays and Thursdays and Saturdays, and they played on Sunday today to reschedule due to weather. Because it's in North Carolina, Charlotte area. And that's 66-57, 79-68, Mississippi over Georgia. Number 13, Kentucky over Auburn, 80-61, 81-67, number 20, NCAA over Stanford. Indiana upsets number 23, Iowa, 74-67. Indiana is going back into form. Iowa has been ranked this season. Still probably getting some of that love from days when they were, when Keelan Clark was back on there. But they don't have the same coach that they had forever. Lisa Luter, she retired. And then her longtime assistant coach ended up getting Jane Jansen. Ended up becoming the head coach at Iowa. And yeah, they beat a good They've lost to a good Tennessee squad though. That is ranked 16th and 14-2. I mean, they have lost to lost to Michigan State. So they lost to Maryland. I mean, they have a lot of good ranked, but they lost to Illinois though, Maryland, and now Indiana. So 3 in a row. That 2 losses are kind of Illinois is kind of I mean, Illinois is good, but they're not like they're still like good near top 40 in that. But I think that would knock them out. That should all 3 losses. 3 losses in like a week time span. Or 8 days, I should say. Should knock them out, though. Richmond beat Davidson 63-41. Rice over Memphis 70-58. DePaul over Providence 62-56. Belmont over Valparaiso 67-53. 73-5-37. Missouri State over Southern. 67-60 Missouri State over USC. Drake 85-64 in Illinois State. Northern Iowa 67-44 Bradley. 83-67 over Missouri. 68-60 leave over number 13 Georgia Tech. 84-70 number 18 Alabama over Ole Miss. 84-78 UNLV 73 over New Mexico. That was usually not West plays Saturdays, but Thursdays and Saturdays, but that was played on Sunday due to The game being a CBS Sports Network game. Usually they play like Thursday, Saturdays, or like Wednesday, Saturdays. Number 10, Oklahoma beat Texas A&M 77-62, 82-70. Number 24, California beat Florida State. Florida State's usually hanging around that rank where they're like a ranked, but they're not ranked. They could be ranked, but they're not. California is around there, but they're showing why they're a solid team in the ACC. They're proven why. You know, dominant. They beat a good ranked NCAA team. They did lose to Clemson, and they beat number 18 Alabama, and then they lost to Michigan State, which is ranked. So they're not bad though. They have a lot of ranked teams coming up. They have Duke coming up. They had on the 16th, 30th. They have North Carolina at home, and they play Notre Dame. It's ranked, so they still have a few ranked matches. Some good tough teams. So I could see them moving upwards and just showing why they're dominant. Northwestern canceled their games with UCLA and USC or postponed them. It will play them later, eventually, if they have, if they can. If North, either they won't be able to reschedule or they'll find a way to reschedule. Like whether it's they playing like Saturday or and then Monday, Tuesday in that frame. Both teams maybe. They may have to do that then. Usually they do USC and UCLA at the same time. So we'll see how that works out. Then you got Syracuse 66-61 over Miami. And number 4 USC 95-73 over Penn State. And then tomorrow we have a few games here. We have Prairie View, A&M, American, Southern Minnesota American, to Loyola Maryland. And the CU Sports are closer. That's at 4 Eastern. And then the Preview Arkansas Bluff we made YouTube or like school website. So and then we have a few on ESPN Plus, 3 on ESPN Plus on the SWAC. Norfolk MEAC, excuse me. The MEAC here. Norfolk State, Morgan State, Delaware State, NC Central, Cobblin State, at 5:30 Eastern. Then we have a MEAC game that's not somebody's in ESPN Plus. Just on schools, SEC school website, YouTube or whatever. We have Maryland Eastern Short, SEC at 5:30 Eastern. Those are all 5:30 Eastern. And then 6:30 Eastern, Grambling and Florida State. Probably on school websites again. Or like Florida YouTube channel or something. Who knows? And then you have Vanderbilt taking on number 6 LSU at 7 Eastern on the SEC network. And that's going to be we'll do a little bit of whip around of the games, later on at 5:30 and 4 Eastern. Once like the 5:30 window hits, and then till 6 Eastern. And then once that hits, I'm not going to be doing any whip around because the Minnesota Gophers men's best game is going on. And also, they have the Vikings game day live on, previewing the Minnesota Vikings Rams game, which I want to watch that as well. But I will try to do a small bit of a small little mini whip around if I can.